Today is the final stop in our big Australian road trip. We head deep into the outback where Georgian sculptures rise from the red soil. An unexpected story connects them to Soviet leader Stalin. Next, a remote town where camels and donkeys roam freely and the earth is full of real gemstones. This is also the filming location for Mad Max 2. And to finish, a visit to the retro 1950s style ice cream café. Let's hit the road, it's going to be a wild one. This morning I had a wonderful idea to open the balcony door and step onto this great veranda. The veranda isn't private, it belongs to the hotel itself, but look at the view. I wanted to mention the view, it's a view of the center of Broken Hill, and there is no one around, but this is the very center of town. It's Sunday, and I have really gotten used to it here in Australia, even in bigger cities, not just small towns. Sunday is typically a quiet day, where people spend time with family, take it slow, and rarely leave their homes. In the city center, some stores only open after 11, and in small towns, everything is always closed. Literally everything. Well, almost everything. A couple of coffee shops, and I think these cafes always make good profits in moments like this. But we are still heading for the adventure. We have arrived at the Park of Living Sculptures. It's an interesting place, located about 8 kilometers from the town of Broken Hill. At the entrance, you need to pay an entrance fee. It's done properly, as they say, $10 per person. There is a machine set up for it. Before, there was a device like this. They used to have envelopes here, where you'd put cash and drop it into this little machine. Now there is the modern device. We activate it. Yes, the local one. And payment is made per person with a card for $10 each. The road here is set up like this, and it's considered two-way. But the most important thing is the landscape here. Red earth, rocks, bushes, typical Australian outback. Today we are in a special place at the Park of Living Sculptures. Despite the strong winds today, it's actually minimal considering how strong the wind is today. A typical situation for the outback. There are interesting sculptures from all over the world. This one is from the Tiwi Islands, right here in Australia. If you travel to Darwin, in the north of the country, it's about a 3-hour ferry ride. This sculpture is from Georgia. It's called Motherhood. This is called The Bride, and this is a sculpture from Damascus, Syria. Another statue from Syria, titled The Habitat of Baja el Sol Agua. This is a Mexican statue. It's on all of the postcards here. It's called the Under the Jaguar's Sun. Another sculpture from sunny Georgia, from the town of Rostavi. It's called Angels of the Sun and Moon. And this one is actually from Broken Hill. This one is called Rainbow Serpent. The theme of serpents is very important in Aboriginal culture. Totems from the Tiwi Islands, another place of residence of Australia's first inhabitants. Here's another sculpture from Georgia called The Horse. Once, by Stalin's order, all horses of a special Georgian breed were destroyed. The statue commemorates that event. Here, there are nests with spider webs. Very interesting. We thought these might be traps, but obviously they are not. These nests are impressive, especially in such strong winds. We are now heading from Broken Hill to a town called Silverton. It's about 50-60 kilometers round trip. Along the outback we meet motorcyclists. They love these places. Behind me is the official sign. This is the gate of Silverton, founded in 1881, almost 150 years ago, when large silver deposits were found here. At that time, 3,000 people lived here. Can you imagine? But eventually, when more silver was found in Broken Hill, everyone moved there. Now only about 30 people live here, but the town is famous for its museums. As strange as it may seem, it attracts people who want to see what life was like in those times. Plus, there is where the famous film Mad Max 2 was filmed, and there is even a museum about the film, with installations from the movie, which we are going to visit now. We have arrived in Silverton. I'll remind you, the town has a population of just around 30 people, but despite that, it attracts many visitors. Here's the legendary Silverton Hotel, where you can still enjoy a cold beer. And behind me are the remaining buildings, which have turned into living museums and galleries. John's Gallery. The sign says if it's hanging here, it's open. This is his art gallery, and it's not just a gallery of paintings. He also makes sculptures like this emu out of iron. You can see all kinds of sculptures here. We are going inside now. It's famous for its donkeys, which don't really like people coming close. We were warned that they kick hard at anyone who tries to take pictures of them. But they are still local attractions, and they are live. John is quite an unusual person. He has so many things here. It's really an open-air museum. Inside there is a car that he decided to cover in paint, and it became an art piece too. It's labeled art. This might be the town's most famous landmark, even since the filming of Mad Max. This is where part 2 of the movie was shot, right here near Silverton. From the remaining movie props, the locals made a museum. Let's go inside now. Here are the first decorations: cars, the alien spaceship that was used during the filming, original cars, even more of them. Some were used by stuntmen and others by the actors themselves. Here on the TV you can see the scenes that were filmed right here in Silverton. This exact moment, there is the car right there behind. The stuntmen did the stunts here. To make it more realistic, they put bigger models of people, added decorations in the background to make everything bright and interesting. Bikes, buggies and cars, all with various graffiti of the film's characters and stuntmen. All these originals have been preserved over the years. Perhaps it's because they put up a fence to protect them from visitors. It's not very convenient to shoot. See how there is a large fence and a smaller one, but at least everything's preserved. By the way, if you say ketchup here, people will look at you disapprovingly. You need to say tomato sauce. Just take it up and squeeze it like this. This was the school in Silverton, which at one point had a maximum of 120, sometimes even 140 students. Now, of course, it no longer operates as a school, but it's now a museum. It's always interesting to explore former schools, not abandoned, but transformed, and this one is no different. Here, kids played games like tic-tac-toe, hopscotch. There is the school bell, which used to signal the start of the day. The rope's missing. But that's alright. An interesting fact about this school, I'll show you a $10 Australian banknote. This is what it looks like. If you turn it over, you see the woman. Her name is Mary, and she taught here at the Silverton School before she got married. The gallery has many paintings that are still on display today. It's a bit of an exhibition, a gallery. You can even buy them. For example, this wonderful painting I liked, it cost $895. All the paintings are on the ceiling. The most important and significant ones are located up there. By the way, the stones we saw at the museum, many of them are actually lying right here in the town, on the ground. You can see amethyst, quartz, which haven't been processed, but are just lying around here. There is a local camel farm as well. They offer camel rides. You sit, get secured, and enjoy the ride. The camels are very friendly. And this is the other part of town. It's called South Broken Hill. Now, we are going to visit a place here that's been open for a long time. Inside, it's just veggies, shakes, potatoes, waffles, and so on. But it's been around since the 1950s, and the atmosphere is just like the 50s. Here they sell syrups, which you can take with you. They are also use them in milkshakes. A wonderful milkshake just arrived. This one is thick, beautiful, and yellow. Before me is the memorial to the local workers, miners, and those who worked to extract minerals. If you look at it from a certain angle, you see that it actually resembles the Sydney Opera House. It really does look like the Sydney Opera House, but it's made from containers. From this side, the memorial looks completely different. Oh, the roses are likely in memory of them. The view is stunning. The town of Broken Hill has truly opened my eyes to a very different side. I'm serious. The people who dedicate their lives to make sure we have the minerals and stones we use in everyday life, that's truly admirable. Mining them, extracting them, working tirelessly. I believe miners are some of the hardest working, most interesting and brave people on earth. There is only one sun in the world, in every town, in every country, rich or poor, near or far. It shines the same way, but it's the same sun we see, just at different times for sunrise and sunset. However, the sunsets and sunrises in different places are very different in beauty. Here in the Australian outback, in the deep country, where there are very few people, the sunsets are special. They're a mix of red, orange and yellow. They're so intense that you wonder why just a few hours away by plane it's not as strong, but here it's so incredibly bright. Well, today we have been served some food. It looks especially beautiful and delicious. I've got a Mexican taco here, and also these Italian arancini balls. What I can say? The cuisine here really reminds me of Russian food. Bread, potatoes, all that comforting stuff. And I want to say that today is the last evening of our trip. Before tomorrow, of course, we still have a whole day. But tonight is the evening before we can go to the motel, rest, and so on. It's the final evening. And I think the trip has been quite good. It's been a wonderful journey. Honestly, I don't think I have ever experienced anything like this, where for 10 days I changed hotels every single day. Sometimes I stayed 2-3 days in one. Sometimes it was different. But the potatoes are tasty, so we'll keep going. Well, today is the new day, day 10 of our journey. It's a long road from Broken Hill to a place called Clare Valley. They grow interesting varieties of grapes, that you won't find anywhere else in Australia. Well, we are crossing the border into the third state, South Australia. See all those stickers? They were left by people who have been here. Sometimes it's interesting to look at these stickers. Well, welcome to the state where we'll finish this fantastic journey. A quick stop at the gas station. There are few gas stations nearby. You can stop, buy a sandwich, coffee. They usually sell Australian pies, those famous round ones. And of course there are chips, crisps, dried meat, flip-flops and hats. You can even see where we are on this map. We are here. We started in Brisbane, went down through Murray, Dubbo, stopped in Mudgee, then up to the mountains, came back down and went along this road, stopping in Hay, Mildura, Broken Hill, Silverton, then back to Broken Hill, and today we are traveling along this road to Adelaide. By the way, floods sometimes occur in this region. People post photos showing how this road, even the federal highway, can get completely flooded for a while, sometimes for days, sometimes for weeks. Dust storms. Well, we are at the gas station now, filling up the car before we hand it back. It's a huge 10-day adventure that's almost coming to an end. Let's fill up. The price of gas today is $181.9. That's $1.82 per liter for 19.1. Well, that's it. We are handing the car back. Thank you so much. 10 wonderful days. We're picking up our luggage now. We'll be taken to the airport by a special shuttle and then we are heading home. It's such a useful thing when traveling, having access to the lounge before your flight. You can get into the lounge if you are flying business class, or even if you earned enough miles with a particular airline or alliance throughout the year, or if you have special bank cards. Well, I have entered the lounge and I'll show you now. The airline is Rex, the regional one. It's a smaller airline here, flying Swedish Saab planes, which are already quite old, around 30 years old. They fly back and forth. There are interesting paintings on the walls, magazines. Let's continue. Here we have a coffee machine, utensils, tea, Australia's version of Nesquik, the drink called Muller. We are at the airport. Alex found a machine where you can buy M&Ms. Let's take a walk to see what the Adelaide airport looks like. It's quite new, but it looks very modern. In fact, it's very comfortable, and the airport is spacious, light and bright. It feels like it's already getting crowded because the city is growing and developing, so the airport needs more and more capacity. There is an advertising for the botanical garden here, a truly wonderful botanical garden in the capital. Aside from the great plant exhibits, it also has a restaurant, one of the best in Australia, called Botanica. They serve dishes made with native plants, beautifully presented. But you need to book well in advance, sometimes up to 2 months ahead. Last year, it cost $360 per person for dinner. In the next episode, you'll see an Australia they never show in tourist booklets. A place where a snake might lie beside the trail, like you are the guest here. Where a spider appears not from fear, but just because it can. Where lunch under grapes looks too perfect to be real. And the waves crash so loud it feels like someone woke up the ocean. This isn't just a trip, it's a dive into Australia's wild, raw, unpredictable side. And I'll show you all of it.